Welcome, everybody, to another Monday Mutterings, and where we're going to talk about something very unimportant and stupid. And that is going to be the actors' strike, but only a part of it. So, first off, we'd like to mention um, where we do agree partly on the actors' strike. And that basically comes down to one thing and one thing only, really. And that comes down to the studios wanting to basically have the likeness and voice of an actor for perpetuity, or, forever.
Yes,
And
perpetuity. You got it.
not have to really pay the family or the actor that much. We think that that shouldn't be something they can contractually put in contracts without, fitting payment for it.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's the one area in which we agree. But where we really wanted to talk about, and Favre had basically put me on to this, and we're going to go ahead and credit Clownfish, TV for having covered this.
Well, let me bring up how it was brought up. So, Neon from Clownfish TV brought up that there's a group, which this is the main part we're going to be talking about, called Labor Over Likes.
Yeah.
They're claiming to be a pro-strike group consisting of YouTube and TikTok creators, probably Twitch streamers, I don't know for sure. But I'm going to call it their gimmick, and I'll explain why I say that soon enough, is that they feel that all creators should be banding together in support of the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes and not producing content, not, objectionable content to the strike, not supporting studios in any way, and just generally being assholes, claiming that they need to not be scabs. Now, Neon brought up, wisely enough, that this is completely fucking irrelevant because you're not part of the union. You are probably never going to be part of the union. And let's not forget that Hollywood establishment, which includes your writers and your actors, have always considered social media stardom and YouTube popularity to be complete jokes. When PewDiePie was at his height, they brought him onto The Tonight Show just so they could make fun of him.
Yeah.
They don't think anything of any of you or us. Anybody who's doing the normal, independent, non-union, non-Hollywood entertainment gig, whether paid or not, you're a joke to them. You will never be anything but a fucking expendable asset to them. So that was what he was bringing up. He's like, go ahead. He's like, keep running around there and, shilling this crap and basically selling yourselves out because you think that Hollywood types are going to give you a cookie. He's like, you're never going to get a cookie. He's like, because this whole strike is all about them being out for themselves. They don't care about you.
Let's cover it on our own terms. If Nick Cage happens to be viewing, you can call me. I'll scab any day for you, sir. But I think the important thing here to mention is that I suspect, and it's my belief, my personal belief actually, that it's more about them wanting to push their politics than really thinking they're going to be able to enrich themselves. Now, I'm sure some of them do, and some of them probably actually rather be actors and celebrities over influencers. But
I'll put it this way. I looked into the group. The group is Labor Over Likes. I feel that there may be some members of the Labor Over Likes group that do legitimately believe this stuff, and they just really would like to get into actual Hollywood, despite its massive, obvious decline. That's not the point. They might want to actually get into Hollywood, get into entertainment, and do that kind of thing. But the group behind it, and I will not name the individual, but the group behind it and the TikTok influencer behind the group Gen Z for Change, with any kind of even cursory research, they are a political activism group. They are hard left, ultra liberals whose entire stated goal on their website is to use social media to affect liberal change on the world. That's their entire goal of their fucking organization. And they are the ones behind this big push Labor Over Likes to try to convince independent creators and influencers to support these WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes and
But
hamstring themselves in the
and
process.
I get it, and anybody that does a cursory glance will figure it out very quickly. But I think this is what really gripes my ass. I don't care what somebody does for their politics or tries to push their politics. Everyone does to some extent.
Pretty
I'm not
much.
making it equal in this. There, I'm just saying that's what most people will do at some point, wittingly or unwittingly. My problem is this: it's that it's the idea that there are people who are trying to push people to support something that has
Hmm.
literally no benefit to them. And I mean that in regards of,
Trying
dude,
to support the strikes
here's a
is not
thing
beneficial
from
to
a
any
group
of
of
us.
people who are not going to give you anything. Screw your
Hmm.
career over, destroy your goodwill, and give all that up so that somebody can feel better about their politics. Doesn't seem like something I want younger people to go there. But I
No.
also have this other issue. I don't like it when some asshole who I don't know has nothing to do with my life then sits there and goes, "Oh, well, you better do this or you're gonna get to put in a naughty place."
The
Because
individual in question is literally just a TikTok star. And when I say star, I say, oh, she's got a few million freaking followers on her TikTok. Or no, a few million like watches or likes or whatever. She has a few 100,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You're not qualified to tell anyone anything about how to live their life when that is your biggest claim to fame. Leave
your
people the hell
biggest
alone.
claim of fame is that there's a bunch of Chinese bots giving you likes, and you
Or a
don't.
bunch of people who, because you're somewhat pretty and you dress flashy in your videos where you're griping about your oppositional political party you hate, like to watch you do that kind of thing.
Be gone, Fot.
Which sadly, that's what all the most I can say is about her. Is she's a TikTok thought
But
who's decided she wants to
I have
influence
no
this
interest
mess.
in attacking this person. What I have
Which
a
is
thing
why we're
is,
not using anybody's names.
I'm gonna say this very succinctly. Fuck you. I'm not going to be told what to do like a little child with some freaking church lady wiggling her damn finger at me, telling me how I'm not doing the moral thing.
No matter how cute she thinks she is.
She ain't that cute. Sorry.
I ain't
I,
got a horse in that race.
I'm
I'm
sure
just
you're
bringing
a
it up.
lovely person.
Uh,
But
mm,
my greater point is, I don't think it's a good idea to try to mislead people into supporting a movement that one doesn't have anyone at its base actually in mind except enriching people who are already
who are
being
already
overpaid.
wealthy, who are already making more money than most anybody
But
who's making this video or a
oh,
lot of the other videos being made will ever
or
see.
working in that industry.
Yeah.
My point being is this: is that these people do not care about anyone outside their little union, because if they did, if they actually cared about the well-being of people working in Hollywood and around Hollywood, they wouldn't have been doing this at one time where the studios are already looking at shedding things, at a time where a lot of the non-union workers, the people who work on the stages, makeup, props, all of those things centered around it that are non-union members
And
who are
of all
all
people,
going to get screwed. This is a movement that
yeah,
doesn't care. It's
of
just trying to get selfish give me's.
of all people, it was Tom fucking Cruise who stood up despite all the backlash from the union people and pointed that out. He's like, you're hurting the entire industry by doing this way at this point in time. You're hurting all the workers, you're hurting the industry itself, you're hurting the movie theaters. He's like, you are damaging our entire industry by choosing to do this in the way that you're doing it. And he was
And
right. It is entirely correct. This is the worst possible time for this because now, whether any of you realize it or not, and by you I mean the people participating in the strike or the labor over likes movement, all that this is doing is encouraging the studios to use loopholes that they've always had where you keep not working and contracts expire and no work is done, so contract becomes void. And all that means is that a lot of people won't be working for any of these studios again because they voided contracts or projects were canceled because work wasn't being done, and so it's incomplete work.
Well, let me put it this way. The this group, in the kindest way I can put it, is effectively nothing more than a pro studio movement. They are making the studios have a better time. They love the idea that these people are going out and doing this because they are basically doing the things that they need to dump so many people, to ruin so many jobs, to actually hurt a lot of the
Well,
industry
it's
and
been
cut it
pointed
down
out.
expectation wise,
It's been
that
pointed
they're
out by
little more than
everyone
what I would
from.
refer to as stooges.
It's been pointed out by everyone from Az heel versus babyface to Clownfish to even Gary at Nerdrotic that this is basically at this point is going to be used like a trap.
Yeah.
They're going to let you guys keep hanging yourself until they can justify canceling all the shows they don't like, all the things that haven't been profiting them. The longer this goes on, the less they have any dedication to finish any of it. And these projects, these multi-million-dollar projects, can be written off and just left to rot. And then they're just going to blame it all on all of you.
Oh, they'll go, well, you're just being unreasonable. And look at these crazies. We
And
can't work with them.
And like negotiations are not impossible. There are some things that the unions are saying that actually make sense. I agree. It should not be permissible for the studios to have some kind of contract writer or bullshit where they can use your identity and voice and stuff it into an AI algorithm and reuse it in perpetuity without benefit to you or your family. That's bullshit. That should not ever be a thing.
But as
Same for
stooges,
writers.
you're making it a lot easier for them to get rid of all the
To
things
justify these things.
in the way and eventually push that as part of a normal contract. Because I'm going to put it real simple. If they walk up to the average man in the street and they go, we'll give you $4,000 for your likeness, a lot of people would take that. It would really be easy, and this union and this group, you are little more than stooges, making it really easy to dump
all
of
they
this.
have to do is make the offer to people who are not used to making anywhere approaching the kind of money you folks are complaining about making, and you could all be replaced. That's the problem. You're not irreplaceable. You may be valuable, and you have been in the past, some of you, but you're not irreplaceable. And the longer you push things too hard at too much expense to the people who have already been losing money, the less likely you're going to get anything you want, including the things that are justified.
But thank you
That's
for
the
joining.
problem with the negotiations.
Thank you for joining us. And the last thing I'm going to say, it's a classic saying, but it fits perfectly. It's a big club, and you aren't part of it.
Yeah. That's one way to put it. Now, any other closing thoughts?
That's it.
All right, folks. We will catch you another time. Or the next one of these
Blacklist
we
me,
do.
baby.